told you that the amount of views you have on your videos on YouTube does not determine how successful YouTube will be in generating leads and sales for your business. It's simply the truth. I've been on this platform for well over 7 years now. I have pretty much tried every kind of content under the sun. I have gone viral, I have flopped, I have made super targeted content, I have made extremely broad content, I have been a guinea pig for you, and I've helped thousands of people at this point create really healthy, successful businesses by generating leads and clients through their YouTube channels. And I wanted to just share some quick stats. I shared this last week as well, but I think it's important to go over this so you understand that size really just does not matter when it comes to generating business from your channel. I work with a baker who has 25,000 subscribers and generates $20K a month, an acne expert who has 5,000 subs and is generating $20,000 a month, a real estate expert who has 56,000 subscribers and is generating $350,000 per month, a government contracting expert who has 21,000 subscribers and is generating $50,000 per month, a relationship expert who has 16,000 subscribers and is generating $40,000 a month. And we have plenty of clients who haven't even been monetized on YouTube and have less than 1,000 subscribers on their channel, yet they're making a full-time income through YouTube by generating clients for their business. Now, what kind of business is this? Well, I help people take their unique genius and their experience and skill set and package it into a highly scalable and impactful online course business in all kinds of different niches, everyone that you can possibly imagine. And I've been doing this myself and grown my own online education business over the past 7 years. And the main vehicle and driver has been this very channel. And this is what I have learned. The more targeted my content is, the more that it is directly for my ideal client, my dream client for my business, the less views I get on YouTube, the less subscriber growth I have, but the more my business actually grows and the more ideal clients I attract into my business. So we increase profitability, we increase scalability, even though the vanity metrics may not be showing that level of growth. And just to put this in perspective, this channel alone has generated well over 8 figures for my business. And so my focus is not on the normal metrics that you would think when it comes to YouTube. As I've grown and I've experienced a lot more and tested so many things, my focus is really on ensuring that I'm creating content that has the deepest impact on the folks that need to see it the most. So this video is the ultimate guide to turning views into clients for your business. So the steps that we're going to go over in this video are relevancy before recording, CPC, which I'll explain in a minute, client capturing content, how that is created and why it's so important. Length matters. The length of your videos actually do matter. The size of your channel doesn't matter. The length of your videos does matter, and it may be in a way that you are surprised by. And finally, BYOA. I'll explain that a little later in the video as well. So before we dig into the first step, this is the place to be to build a peaceful, purposeful, and profitable online education business. If you want to package your expertise into a highly scalable and impactful online program, there is a link below to apply to speak to a real human being on my team, and we can best support you with next steps and the best strategy for you to move forward and make that vision a reality. Please fill out that application as thoroughly as possible because we are very intentional about who we do work with and who we do speak to ensure that it's aligned and that we can best support you with our program, the Authority Accelerator. Number 1, relevancy before you record. This is vitally important to converting one view into one client and not needing to have a big audience or a ton of views to make YouTube incredibly successful and profitable for your business. What you need to understand is, as I've been doing this for so long and worked with so many people, what I came to realize and what I created is something called the code and cracking the code on YouTube. So what it all begins with is really relevant content. This is what everything circles around when it comes to YouTube and it actually working for your business. So what this little cycle starts with is ideal client. When you know who you're trying to reach and what you want to be known for on YouTube, the algorithm will work in your favor to reach more of the right people. In order to teach the algorithm that, you need to create relevant content for that ideal client and for that ideal client only. By making broad content, you confuse the heck out of the algorithm, you reach the wrong audience, and ultimately in the long run, that hurts your channel because that broad audience is maybe tuning in for one video, they're not tuning in for the rest of your videos. So it's a problem. So creating relevant content, hyper relevant content that's targeted toward the ideal client allows the algorithm to categorize you and your channel. And when the algorithm knows who you're trying to reach and what you want to be known for, it then uses its internal traffic sources to reach more of that ideal client without you doing more work. So by teaching the algorithm with relevant content, you are then using the algorithm to your favor, and you're essentially beating the algorithm to reach more of your ideal client using its internal traffic sources. So it takes a lot of the weight off of you over time because YouTube just knows who you're trying to reach, and it's going to start pushing your content to those folks organically because that benefits YouTube. YouTube wants you to have the right viewers watching the majority of your videos because for them, that's a win because that ultimately is going to lead to more ad revenue for them. So that is how you crack the code on YouTube, and you have to remember this. Do not get distracted by shiny object syndrome. Do not get distracted by trying to reach all of the people. That's only going to hurt you in the long run. And if you're not on this platform to be an entertainer and strictly a creator and you're here to use it for your business, this is the key. You gotta do this. The next piece of this is to find these people and to create hyper relevant content. FAQs are your bestie. They're your best friend. And a couple of ways that you can figure out content topics that are hyper relevant. Do your research. Find channels that have the same audience that you're trying to reach and identify the videos that have the most engaged comments. Not necessarily all of the views, most engaged comments. Also, you can look at which videos recently have had, a significant number of views and likes on them. Sometimes that content might be a little bit broad though, but it still helps you determine, okay, what is my audience interested in? What's relevant to them? That's gonna be helpful research. And how can I create a video that's my unique take on it? The next easy way to find some super relevant content, I'll use a real example. So we have a client who helps people up-level their tennis game from a mental place. And most of the time they're focusing on really the serve. So an easy tactic you can use is called the alphabet trick. So if you go into the Google search bar and you put in tennis serve A, tennis serve B, tennis serve C, tennis serve, and you go through the whole alphabet, it's going to populate the most popular topics with that letter in each category. So you can come up with ideas that way to see what are people actually seeking out and needing information on when it comes to my category on YouTube. So it's hand delivering you in demand topics, and then it's your job to make them hyper relevant and the title's hyper relevant to your ideal client. Now, to make sure this is really hitting home, because it needs to, please put hyper relevant content in the comments below if this is making sense. The next step is CPC, or cost per conversion. Now you might be thinking to yourself, we're not paying for anything here. And you're not. The beauty of YouTube is it's essentially free advertising. By doing this correctly, you can show up in every single place that your ideal client and strangers who don't even know you yet but need your solution and need your help, they're gonna find you everywhere they look. So why I say cost per conversion is you do want to think about it that even though we're doing this in a way where it's free traffic and it's organic placement, when people search in the search bar, they're going to find you for free. You want to think about it with a paid perspective, because that helps you create the right content topics that, again, are relevant for your ideal client. Because when you pay for advertising on any platform, there's really 3 factors that you have to know, or else you're essentially just throwing money into a dumpster fire. And you're just throwing money out the window, down the toilet, whatever you want to say. So the 3 questions you need to ask: who is the ideal client I'm trying to serve? What is the pain point or problem they are facing that they need to solve? Because people go to YouTube for lots of reasons, but a big reason is they go to find solutions to their problems and answers to their questions. You have to think from that perspective. And then the final thing is, what is the outcome that they are seeking? What is the ultimate end goal for them? And your content needs to be related to all of this. If you make super broad content, and let's just say, for example, you were paying for placement with super broad content, you would be paying way more than you need to. And again, just throwing that money out the window. So by being intentional, you would show up exactly and pay for placement exactly where your client is looking. For example, let's say that you are in the weight loss space and you are trying to be seen with the keyword weight loss on YouTube. That is so incredibly broad and competitive. The more results there are, the more competition there is, the higher the likelihood is that you're never going to be seen or found, and you're just going to sink to the bottom of the results. And also with a topic that is so broad like weight loss, you're going to attract the wrong people, the wrong ideal clients. They're not going to be ideal clients. You're going to attract anybody from any walk of life that's seeking to just lose a little weight. Looky-loos, people that aren't that serious, people who are not actually in pain and need your help. Whereas if you get more focused and targeted, you reduce the amount of competition, which means that you have a higher likelihood of being seen. So an example of this is I actually work with a woman who helps postpartum moms lose the weight because that was her own story. So 3 exercises to lose the weight for postpartum moms is a much better topic than just weight loss. Because why? Because that tells me exactly who you're trying to reach, what the pain is for them exactly, and the outcome that they're trying to seek, which means you're going to show up exactly where your ideal client is looking. So just remember this, even though you're not paying anything to be placed on YouTube and you're doing this completely organically, broad equals broke. Specific equals clients, sales, conversions, leads, all the good things. Next, client capturing content. So how do we get the right eyeballs on your content? Well, first we need to understand the core metrics of YouTube and what actually matters, what doesn't matter. So if you look at the core metrics, the ones that you want to look at are CTR. So that's your click-through rate. Ultimately, if you don't have this, you won't have any of the rest of these metrics, because if people aren't clicking on the video, they're not actually watching it. But we want to talk in depth about this because you don't want just anybody clicking for reasons that we've already gone over. So you have CTR, then retention, which means how long are people actually staying on the video. And if you're attracting the wrong people, this is going to be really bad and nobody's going to stay and watch the video, which is going to tell the algorithm that the video sucks. Watch time. How much watch time are you accumulating when people actually do visit your channel or click on a video? Are they staying for the whole video and then watching more of your content? How many subs are you generating? How many views are you generating? How much velocity? Now here's the deal. As an entrepreneur, yes, all of these matter, but these 2 are gold. Most importantly, your CTR is gold. So your CTR comes from several sources. You have browse, suggested, and search. So what that means is your content can be pushed to all of these sources. And you want to make sure that you've created content that, again, is relevant to the right person and the right viewer and client, or else you can get pushed through these traffic sources to wrong people. And when that happens, it means that you've created a content topic that is popular but broad. By attracting the wrong people, you go right back to the beginning of kind of breaking the momentum of that code and breaking the actual success of cracking the code because the content isn't relevant. And then you're attracting this audience that's not going to be interested in anything else you create, which then again kills every other one of these metrics. So CTR is important, but a high click-through rate is really mainly important from the right audience, period. So the ideal situation is, as you're building your channel with really search-based topics as an entrepreneur on YouTube, because then you're attracting, again, really relevant people and an audience of subscribers that are super engaged in what it is that you do with your business. From there, when you track through, let's say, hyper-targeted keywords as an entrepreneur, and you get really targeted subscribers, then every time you post a video, it's gonna start suggesting you in the algorithm to more people just like that. So to more of your ideal client. And from there, as more and more of this base of subscribers starts to engage and you attract more and more of these folks, then you're gonna start getting picked up in browse to reach even more of those humans on the platform, which is what I was talking about earlier. But this is why it's so key to have relevant content, because if you do this in the wrong way, this growth can go the opposite direction. Because you can have one video, let's say it's a big viral hit, but it's the wrong audience, and then none of your other content lands, then your channel is not going to be picked up in the algorithm, and it's not going to be seen by the right folks. And again, this doesn't require a huge base of subscribers, a huge audience. It requires, again, the right people clicking. So the important thing to remember is get the click from the ideal client, keep the click from the ideal clients that they're watching. So it signals the algorithm, this is the person I want to attract to my videos. They really like them. Push me to more people like this through the traffic sources. Now, some tactical things about getting the right click and keeping the click are, when it comes to CTR, two of the biggest factors to getting a click-through rate from the right people and a high click-through rate from the right people is having a title and thumbnail that is attractive to them. So what we just went over, who are you trying to reach, the pain point and the outcome that they're trying to get from the video? Is that reflected in your title and your thumbnail? That's where it's really, really important to be intentional about your title and your thumbnail. So again, you're attracting those right people. And keep in mind that doing something that is clickbaity or again, general is maybe gonna get clicks, but it's not from the right humans. Number 4. Length matters. So you're gonna be kind of surprised by this, I think, but running so many experiments on my channel and across social media platforms over the last 7 years, I have identified that the longer my content is, the more high quality and intentional and invested people I attract to my business. So you may notice I don't do shorts. I oftentimes don't create a lot of short content because I found that creating more intentional, longer form content and super targeted content, yes, it doesn't get the vanity metrics, but it actually converts at a way higher level because I'm speaking to somebody who is sitting there and spending their quality time. Time is our greatest currency to actually watch the content and engage in the content. Whereas if somebody's watching a short form piece of content, it can totally still work for your business. I'm not slamming anything, and it's up to you about how you want to run things. This is what I've just noticed with my experiments, and it's something my clients have noticed as well. If they're watching, let's say, a 15-second short or reel or TikTok, they are just getting a hint of you and they aren't really invested time-wise. And what I've noticed is that somebody who's not investing their time is probably not going to take the investment seriously of actually working with you. And again, with shorter content, you do have more of a likelihood of potentially going viral with shorter content because it's easier to consume and it generally reaches a more broad audience. For the reasons I just went over, that ultimately could potentially hurt the channel rather than help it. So how do you create a video that converts clients? So I created something years ago called the Hot Script Formula, and it is really the key component of creating high retention on your videos with the right viewer and creating a viewership of really engaged people who are super interested in what you do and are at that place where they're in pain and they need your help and ultimately are going to be invested in working with you, whether that's now or down the road. What it looks like is, this stands for Hook Outcome Testimonial. You need to hook people within the first 30 seconds, make sure you ensure them that they're in the right spot with the right kind of content that they're seeking. Tell them the outcome of the video that they're gonna get because ultimately that's what they're looking for, and give them some sort of proof, whether you have been able to solve a problem for yourself that they wanna solve, or you have client results or testimonials. Include that within the first 30 seconds to a minute. And then from there, you wanna get into the meat of the content, meaning sequential steps or sequential strategy. Whatever it is that is the meat of the content that's gonna help them create this outcome right here, that's what you want to get into as quickly as possible because that's why they're there, and that creates longer retention on the video. That tells the algorithm that these people like your content, means they're going to push to more people. Sequential steps, and then from there, engagement, CTA. So what this means is let's have the people that are watching actually engage with the content because that's a signal to YouTube to go, wow, these people are actually really paying attention. Again, I'm going to use our internal traffic sources to send this to more people. So for example, a little quick engagement CTA would be me saying right now in this video, which I'm actually saying to you, listening to all of this, what is one video topic that you know would work really well for your ideal client? Comment below with that topic right now. From there, you go right back into steps. So this kind of breaks up the steps. And then from there, you have your conversion CTA and your engagement CTA. So what this means is your conversion CTA is you want to tell people where to go and how they can further the relationship with you so that they don't just watch a YouTube video and forget about you. So whether you're going to send them to your email list or a conversion site or to book a call with you, whatever it may be, That has to be included. If you don't tell people where to go, they just won't go anywhere and they'll forget about you. And then from there, engagement CTA. So this is a little bit different than the one I mentioned earlier. This one is all about, again, creating positive signals within the algorithm from your ideal clients and ideal viewers. So asking for a like, subscribe, and comment. Those are your engagement signals to prove to the algorithm that the content is quality. So if you want to go and do that right now, like this video, go for it. Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, BYOA. What does that stand for? Build your own audience, friends. Build your own audience. So one of the biggest mistakes you can make when it comes to leveraging YouTube for a business is simply relying on YouTube. I know that sounds strange, but you don't own YouTube. You don't own Facebook, you don't own Instagram, you don't own TikTok, you don't own anything. You can own your audience by creating your own audience. In an online business, and in most businesses, it comes down to having a contact list or an email list. So you need to make sure, and this goes back to what I was just talking about with the hot script formula, that you are sending people from YouTube to some kind of nurturing site, for lack of a better word. So whether that be you are getting them to download a freebie, that could be a guide, a PDF, an opt-in, or you are sending them to book with you. Book a call on your calendar and that makes them a contact in your contact list. Or you're simply just straight up saying, subscribe to my email list. This right here is the most important, getting folks from YouTube onto your email list, because what that does is it allows you to build a hyper-targeted email list of your most ideal client, your most invested clients in you and what you do and how you help them, so that you're not solely relying on YouTube to push you in the algorithm. And what you can do then is every time you create a YouTube video, you then send that video to your email list, and you then have the power because you've built a list of humans that you know are excited about your content. So again, that drives traffic to that YouTube video. And what does that do? You are then showing YouTube that you are sending a bunch of traffic to these videos that are super qualified, and they're actually watching the video, they're retaining the video, they're clicking on the video, and they're people that are your ideal clients. So again, you know what I'm gonna say, that allows YouTube and the algorithm to know who to push your content to, which allows you to build that really, really hyper-targeted golden audience of humans that actually care about what you do, and ultimately, whether they work with you now or later, are going to be your most ideal clients. And more than that, even if they never become a client, these folks actually care about what you do and you're helping them. So it helps you to drive even more impact on the people who need you most with your channel. So it's being hyper intentional and impactful with the content and the channel that you've created. So what this has done by running so many experiments over the years and being a total guinea pig, it has allowed me to really detach from vanity metrics. And maybe you can relate to this, but because there is a whole industry behind growing your views and subscribers and everything on YouTube, and it's something that I used to focus on, it can make you misunderstand what actually matters on this platform when you're using it as an entrepreneur, because the same quantifiers of success don't apply to entrepreneurs and to the creator who's here to entertain and to get a huge audience. They're very different ball games, and you need to know the game you're playing in order to succeed at that game. So I hope this helps you, and I know for me, it has lifted a huge weight off of my shoulders because I've proven this now, and so many of my clients have as well, that I just don't need all of the eyeballs on myself or my content. I need the right eyeballs. And so my metrics for success at this point are very different with YouTube than what they used to be, and it's a very freeing place to be. So I hope this helped you, and I'd be very curious, and I would actually love to hear in the comments, does this help take the weight off of getting all the views, all the subscribers, rapid growth, and does it help you focus on getting the right views and attracting the right humans to your channel? And I really hope that it did. That was my intention behind this. So I think you'll be surprised at what you can do with super targeted intentional content. And if this is something that you are really interested in and you are ready to package up your skill set, your expertise, and make a massive impact on a global scale with the right people through online education, that's what I do. And I've been doing it for a long time. So if you want to build an online program, the best place to start is there's a link below this video in the description to apply to speak to a human on my team so that we can identify if it's the right fit and if it's aligned for us to support you in the best next steps there with what we do. Thank you so much for watching. I highly encourage you to check out last week's video all about how to monetize $1 million YouTube channel without AdSense. So check that out next, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.